Creatively, I'm inspired by a lot of various things, specifically music, television, pop culture, and knowledge of many backgrounds. Hi, my name is Evan Gilliard, and I'm here at the Argenta Library for my show, Connection Through Creativity. Philosophy, religion, and psychology have been a lot of things that I like to focus on when it comes to pursuing themes and messages within the work. But weirdly enough, one of my biggest inspirations was a show from the early 2000s called Class of 3000, where a teacher comes who's a musician to a underprivileged community and starts teaching at their local school. He brings music and art to the scene and allows these kids to build bonds through themselves with their community and create entire new narratives around like what it means to be alive in this world through those various creative means. And that is my goal as an artist, is to create a new world that we can view ours through that allows us to feel more accepted, more engaged together, and also creative. This piece right next to me is called The Creator. It is one of 12 masks that I am working on as a complete series, inspired by Carl Jung's studies of human psychology. There are 12 different variations and more of people in this world, and I would like to create masks that are also inspired by African tradition or roots in a post-transatlantic slave trade society in which we find ourselves. So to bring about culture and connectivity through not only psychology, but history and spirituality on some level. This mask next to me is made out of paper, cardboard, and ceramics. Those are the only three materials involved. And actually, the paper that this mask is made out of are various pieces that I've created throughout my artistic journey. I scrapped all of them, ripped them down, put them in water, pulsed it, and allowed it to be turned into a form of clay that is transmutable across multiple different mediums. And I combine that with a medium that I've just been introduced to and also got my degree in, which is ceramics, to create a mask that has like a spiritual or energetic flow to the face, bringing about an energy of creativity into its being. This piece is called To Acknowledge, and it serves to function just that. It is made out of ceramic and has been delicately hand painted so that there's an extra layer of depth and also some interesting visual effects as you look around the piece, with different highlights being blue and green. The part that I wanted to acknowledge about our world with this piece actually came about as a thought concept from 2020 when we went into lockdown for the very first time, and how pent up as a society we became in that process. What we acknowledged about ourselves during that time and what we acknowledged about the world, or weren't able to ignore anymore about the world. And a lot of that was political. A lot of that was health-oriented and socially conscious in the ways that we either protected ourselves, accepted ourselves, or were forced to do something that maybe we are uncomfortable with or just needed to do for ourselves in the first place. A lot of people took that time in lockdown to do some self-reflection and healing. A lot of people took that time to turn to the internet as a form of escapism. And a lot of people took that time to start using their voice and speak out on things that they felt were important. And this piece, this mask piece, is supposed to represent what it means to be in a society where you are forced to don a certain persona, or you have to do it for your own well-being or for the sake of being able to be in certain spaces. So masking as a concept was the inspiration, and what we were masking from is the acknowledging part. This mask is like any others, woven, it's sewn. I like to think of it as a weaved texture from experience and knowledge. These hands on the front represent the force that push universally or spiritually, however you would like to view it. Outside force that is either, you could see it as a force of oppression, a force that is keeping you hell-bent or down. It could also be seen as a way of projecting a certain type of an image, or ways that you feel that society or this world have touched you and have reminded you of certain aspects of yourself that you feel like you have to mask from, or that you feel like you put on a mask to like get around. In a lot of ways, especially for like a person of color like myself, we have to don masks in order to enter certain spaces. We have to approach things in a certain way so that we don't get taken out of context or ascribed to different labels. And this piece is about how you break through those labels or how you find your own identity within the mask itself. Typically, when it comes to ceramic pieces, the surface of that is what we tend to gravitate toward, is what we like, is what we view as like high quality or low quality. This piece challenges the assumption of what is a surface level and what is like deeper than that. The surface of this piece is just one color. It may have some variation to it, but the enticing part about it is the mask that is worn on the surface of the piece, in the same way that a lot of us feel like our truest selves have to be masked in order to fit to what other people may like or ascribe to. These hands being that force from either within or without that's pushing our truth, and also the inevitable truth of it all, which is we are all human underneath our skin. The skeletal structure represents what lies beneath all of that. Our words, our actions, like there's nothing that distinguishes us aside from the labels and the barriers that we ascribe to it. And through that, we can either evolve or regress into those patterns. Either you become the mask or you decide to take that mask off. And through this piece, I like to think that I am acknowledging the mask that we all wear and allowing viewers to see if that is something that they're willing to take off, if it's something that they have not yet acknowledged, the mask, or if it's something that they see as deemable in society, like we have to wear our mask in order to be protected or in order to get where we need to go. And through that thought process, or maybe the understanding about that, you can find some deeper connection to yourself or to other people, to break down those borders and to acknowledge the mask we all wear and the desire to connect underneath the surface. Hence the middle part, which is supposed to be indicative of our like third eye opening, is that mental break that we have to push past, or that a lot of like people believe that are holding us back. And once that eye is open, you're able to not only see yourself, you're able to see others, and you're able to see this world for what it truly has, what it truly is, and what it truly offers. This piece is called Revelation. It is a piece inspired by a conversation I had with another painter that I met a couple weeks ago, and decided that he posed an issue that took me a while to meditate on, that it took me a second to process, and that inspired me to make something in spite of. The conversation that I had with a fellow artist of mine not too long ago was about how artists make money in the modern day. I asked him a question, which was, how do you make your money? What's your primary source of reliable income as an artist? And his answer perplexed me a bit. He says, the people that buy my art the most are wealthy people, are people that may not look like myself and you, but they love to acquire art that feature people that look like us. That sat very interestingly on my soul a bit, as the commodification of Black bodies has not been publicly acceptable for some time now, but as an artist and as art ourselves, we tend to still be sought after in a commodified way. He then goes on to tell me that his most prominent figures that get him the most money are Black women, which, going back to the commodification of people, also sits a little interestingly on the mind. So with this piece specifically, I wanted to expound on the idea of what it means to have representation in specific spaces, to move beyond the product-oriented mindset of, because this is a Black figure, it must be something to be acquired just for the simple fact of its exotic nature. when the true spirit or the true exotic nature lies not in the skin color, but beneath its skin, the actual energy and the essence of the being that should be something to be desired. And so with this piece, I'm removing this skin that she's wearing, the skin that's so black that it's blue, which is a common phrase that we hear a lot. And underneath said skin is a universe worth of experience or knowledge. Her being is more than just what it is wrapped in. And my answer to his prose was that we should not be commodifying the existence of Black people as exotic figures, especially in the modern day, since we are living in a time where being exotic or being different in any way, shape, or form is something that is worth being persecuted by. So to take a look at this is to look beyond that essence of a figure or just an exotic piece of art, and to acknowledge the fact that we all in ourselves are more than just what we are on the outside. The woman is revealing this self underneath her skin, the skin that might have been what is so impactful or so acknowledged by others, something so sought after, to reveal that there's even more underneath the surface, a universe of possibilities to this person. Their identity is so fluid that it does not ascribe to just a specific being. You will never know this person in your life, but you've probably met this person everywhere. I feel like art is not just a practice or not just an object, but it is our reality. There's no such thing as a place that exists without art being the backing. Every building you step into, every bus that you ride, every car that you own, every sign that you see, every food item that crosses your mind, all of those things have been brought about through human ingenuity, backed by creativity. And I believe that no matter what we do, we are creating in some way, shape, or form. I create by many different means: ceramic, graphic design, videography, and 2D mediums. But everything that we encounter, we engage with, is geared toward that part of our brains that is emphasized or enlightened by someone else's thoughts and creativity.